All right, hi everyone. I'm just here to do a quick video on how to optimize your searches when you're looking for resources for counties. And so I just have on here my Google landing page. And so we're going to go into how to kind of narrow down some of your searches. Okay, as most of us do, we usually find out what our resources we're looking for, and then we type in the city or the county that we're in. So for this example, I'm using food banks in Fresno, California. And as you can see, when I hit enter for my search, I was able to populate 7,030,000 results, which is a lot. And so it kind of can be overwhelming, and it probably has things that I don't necessarily want, but I'm as a data entry personnel, I would have to go in and enter or click on different resources and try to figure out which ones are legitimate, which ones are active, which ones are open. And so what can we do to kind of help narrow down our search to make sure that we get the best quality? I'm going to show you in just a second. So what I did was I retyped in my search food banks, and I added some plus signs and a specific zip code to kind of help narrow down my search. So what I did was food banks plus Fresno plus a zip code. 93702 is a zip code in Fresno. And what it did was it actually narrowed down my search to 30,100 results, which is a little bit more manageable than the 7 million on the previous page. And so this now allows me to kind of see and get a better idea as far as what's open and what's active in close proximity to the specific zip code that I'm looking for. The plus sign just means and it only will search and show me things that includes those things that I put with the plus sign. If it doesn't have those keywords or numbers that I put in there with the plus signs, it will not populate for me on my search. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot of folks run into is looking for shelters or things for housing in Fresno or in your specific county, and you're getting like animal shelters or things like that. And so how can we narrow down our search? Even though I use the plus sign, I'm still getting over 6 million hits on my search. And so let me show you what we can do to kind of help narrow down to eliminate some of the things that we don't need. So now you'll see that in my Google search bar, I've put in shelters in Fresno, California, and then I have some hyphens or minus signs, minus pets, minus animal. When you use the minus sign, it actually takes off. It's telling Google to not put any searches with those words in it. So I can look for shelters in Fresno, but please do not include pets or animal in my search. And so when I did that, it brought my 6 million plus hits down to 574,000 hits, which is a lot better and a lot more manageable to go through than the millions of searches. So that's another way to do a Google search. Another thing that we're running into is like, for example, utilities. You are doing utility search and you're getting a lot of hits for assistance. And so if you look, I did utility assistance, Fresno, California. I didn't use any of my plus signs or minus signs, and I still was able to get 782,000 hits. Let's see if I can be more specific and narrow down some of my searches. Now you'll see that my search bar has some quotation marks in it. So I put utility assistance in quotations for Fresno, California, and it brought my search down to 4,930 results, which is a lot more manageable. What I did was the quotation marks allows Google to search for that specific phrase. And so when it does my search, it's only filtering things for me that has utility assistance in it or whatever I put into that quote in that sequence. And so this is another way for you to narrow down your search a little bit and get more concrete results when you're searching by using the quotation marks. And earlier at one of the first screens you saw, food banks, when I searched food banks in Fresno, California, I got over 7 million hits. Another trick that you can do is going to be using file types, because a lot of times food banks or resources, they only show them on like a PDF or things like that on specific company websites because they make flyers and things like that, and they just upload them onto their websites. And so let me show you how to search by file type. So as you can see, I'm kind of combining a few different things that I've already showed you with the quotation marks, with the plus sign, and now I've added file type colon, and then I put PDF at the end. That's the file extension. PDF is a file extension. You can also use PowerPoint, so PPT is PowerPoint. You can use doc files, DOC, or Excel file, XLS, or different types of file extensions that you can use. And so you just type in your search and then put file type and then whatever extension you want. And I will list those extensions for you as well, so that way you have it as a reference. And as you can see, it brought that 7 million down to 20,000 items that have PDF files with the word food bank in it. And some other recommendations are to go directly to that county to see if they have a Department of Health or Human Services. They often will list all the other additional resources within their county on the Department of Health or Human Services for COVID. Also help narrow down your search by using specific keywords. Sometimes it's easy to just type in food bank or shelter or financial assistance or things like that, but what if you change it up and be more specific in your search? So instead of food bank, you can also use like food distribution, keywords like free, charity. You can also use shelter, but be more specific even. You can go to women's shelter, men's shelter, senior center, resource center, LGBTQ center. The word assistance comes in handy, at risk, mental health, screenings, virtual, rent, mortgage giveaways. Also during this time, we tend to see a spike in domestic violence, and so you can also look up domestic violence. Just try to kind of broaden your search criteria a little bit. It'll help narrow down your search. Also look at your county and find specific towns, cities within your county. This will help you find a city-specific resource that may not be titled by the county. Try spreading the wealth essentially and look in different parts of your county, especially if you have a really large county. Try to find different resources within each county. I know the goal eventually is to assign us by zip codes, but for now, as we get started, we want to kind of we're kind of providing the umbrella right now and kind of giving out resources by the county, but kind of spread the wealth a little bit across the assigned county that you have. And then also check social media. Sometimes small counties and organizations cannot afford to run a website, so you might, it's more cost effective for them to have a Facebook page and put updates through there, or Twitter or Instagram. And so see how active they are on those social media platforms, because then you know that they're current, they're active, and they're legitimate. If you go to one and there's no updates or no information about that place, it's probably not one that you want to share with our users on the Onward side. But if you see that they're very active, go ahead, put that down as a resource. I hope this video really helped you guys. Using Google to kind of help narrow down your search, using the plus sign, the minus signs, quotation marks, the file extensions, and also just kind of looking at how you can use different keywords to help optimize your search. Thank you so much, you guys. DM me or anyone on the tech team if you have questions, or reach out to your team coordinators.